Good morning. This is Morten from Inkish. I have today the pleasure of being together with Cindy from the Experience Center of Canon in Poing. And Cindy, good to see you.
Good to see you, Morten.
I mean, look at this line, right?
Impressive.
Is that the longest line that you have seen so far? Or?
This is currently our longest Colorstream line that we have so far, already live installed in the field.
Okay, so it's out there.
It's out there.
Okay, fantastic. And this is what you expect to present at Drupa as well?
We want to show a complete solution and not just one single part, because it's always important to see how everything works together. One thing is the technology innovation. The other thing is how you can connect all these parts to seamlessly work together in order to have the largest output volume.
And see, I saw your presentation last week in London about all your new equipment, also on Inkish TV. And you say it's new, but it says Colorstream 8000. That is an old one, isn't it?
It's not really old. It's the Colorstream 8000, whom we have given 2 new speeds.
Let's go and check it out.
One hand side, the 110 meters per minute, and the other thing is the 200 meters per minute.
So it's only it's the series
or
the model. Okay.
And we have received 2 new models within the series. And also we have full upgradability. When we now already write the speed on, customers will then have to upgrade. We have to exchange the writing. So they have an 8000 series and all the models between them are completely available to those customers.
And that must, from a customer perspective, be very positive that when they invest in a machine and Canon do new innovations that you can basically upgrade the technology, right?
It should be investment protection. I mean, it's a large investment and it should be protected.
Yeah. So the Colorstream has been in the market for some time. I mean, how has the market reacted to this machine?
Very positive. So we were really surprised on how well the market accepted this press. And also the feedback from our existing Colorstream customers was really so positive. They like what happened. They see that everything they wanted is now built in. So we're seeing that we're already exchanging Colorstream installations that were not so old to Colorstream 8000 just because we've met our customer demands so well with the press. But also we see more and more people from the offset market are changing to a Colorstream 8000 because now they have the speed, they have the uptime, and they really see their benefits for managing their less titles or more titles in a shorter run length. That works perfectly well with the Colorstream series.
We're going to dig a little bit into the machine, but just for people to understand, this machine is particular for uncoated paper or inkjet treated paper, right?
Absolutely right. It's defined for that, and it works on that best, even with the inks. The inks are so designed that they give best performance also on an uncoated paper without requiring any primer underneath. So you already see there that the ink is not sinking into the fibers and still you have color vibrancy.
Funny, now we're starting a little bit different because, as I said to you, normally we do the walkthrough from the paper, but we start in the middle of the machine. What's behind the walls here?
Behind the walls of the Colorstream is I think most importantly, operators don't like cleaning printheads manually. That's why there is an automatic printhead cleaning system included. So this makes it possible that the press cleans the printhead itself. So with that, no worries for the operator. It also does it before starting to print, after it stood a while, and then you always have the perfect quality because every nozzle is free. It's 1200 dpi printheads, so very tiny nozzles.
Yeah, I was just about to say, because with 1200 dpi, it needs to deliver some ink, right? How many drops does that go with 200 meters and 1200 dpi? That's quite a few, right?
That's quite a few drops. The printheads are able to print 330 million per second.
Per second.
So
it's almost unbelievable, right?
It's amazing when you think of what happened in inkjet printing.
When you have a machine like this, I mean, one of the things I hear in the market is something like, nozzle defects or redundancy check and things like that. Is that also something that you have on this machine, or?
that's not necessary in the Colorstream. On the one hand side, this is here our automatic cleaning system. The ink formulation, of course, is very important. You need to have an ink that is fast immobilizing. On the other hand side, is not immobilizing in your nozzles.
Okay.
So this is the case with the Colorstream 8000 inks. And something very important to us,
I guess that's
is
the drying
that
thing, right?
thing here.
Yeah.
Just before the drying and before we go under the print heads, we have an active paper web cleaner. So here we pull in all the paper dust, and every dust that doesn't settle on the print heads, doesn't block your print heads. So blocked nozzles, no way.
Okay, so basically that basically means that you have just ensured that it cannot block in any way because you have taken care of that before the ink hits the paper, basically, right? Smart. One of the things that we spoke about with this new iteration of the Colorstream is also that you know, I think that a lot of people are of course always concerned about let's say waste, and we're going to see it in a second because you have like a automatic web splicer built in, not built in, but with a Hunkler solution here. But basically, you said that is also something in the machine that enables it to be even better, right?
Right. One of the unique selling points of the Colorstream is that it is very low in paper waste. And we have taken that one step further now. So we have already that it starts printing while accelerating to the rated speed. We have our waste-free print pause, and now we have an automatic splice handling at full speed. And given that full speed, no operator can change roles at full speed. So we have here a media changer included from Hunkler, and this supplies continuously new paper rolls. And so we reduce the paper waste of the Colorstream that occurs during a splice it's only 35% of what it previously was. And this is really a large step to the future to really stop having paper waste in the production.
Especially when you have this speed, because I mean, of course, you would need to change roles faster when it's a faster machine, right? So that ends up being something that has a value for the owner of the machine, of course, right? How difficult is it? I mean, when I hear things like that, for me, it's almost unbelievable.
It is quite difficult. It needs very much fine adjustment, and this is also important. Because we have full control. We have our research and development team working very closely with the customers and with us. And all together, they bring the solution. We just require what we need. And they do that perfectly well. And it's also giving customers that have now rolls with splices an advantage because they can buy cheaper rolls in the market that might have splices included. And now the press doesn't stop. It just gives the splice through at full speed, and the print heads just lift a little bit and then go down.
Is that because there's like some kind of sensor that can see the splice before it hits the machine? Okay, because I thought first, because I mean, basically you need to have a tension control on the paper, of course, but you also need to know exactly where in the
when
machine
the splice comes. Yeah.
Okay, fantastic. So here, that was the second unit, of course, right? So if we go a little bit back, you have the first printing unit here, right? And you have the
turn bar.
The turn bar, yeah. Is that something that, I mean, I guess that the customers that have already experienced working with web-based printing don't have any problems. But for all the printing companies that are not used to work with web-based or continuous feed, how difficult is it to get into this? I mean, because there's a new ways of doing things, right?
It's a new way of doing things. But the most important thing is the technology works. It's a business model that has to be adapted because you can now do much more work in less time, and you have to have a business model that is absolutely giving the opportunity to do so. Because all of a sudden you have a complete order intake automated, you have to make ready for the press automated, you just send files and the press is printing one after the other. So as long as you keep a continuous stream of data for the presses, it will just run it through.
So So what you say is that before people are even looking into investing in this kind of technology, because I mean, you have the IX that has been quite popular in Europe, where it's a cut sheet machine, maybe more like what you're used to in digital print. So when you work with this type of technology, you basically have to spend some time thinking about your business and figuring out how this new digital. So is that something that Canon also help your customers with?
We help our customers with that because we know it's difficult to understand all the value of these complex lines. And in order to give that to the customers, we also give them advice on how best to do changes in the business model and how to take in a step-by-step approach, because usually you don't do that overnight. You take a structured approach, doing that step by step in order to have a chance. If you're not confident with what we're doing, then you can take a step back. But currently we only see positive feedback, especially when we look at Ottawa, we see that they're really switching their complete business model one step after the other, and they're now really leveraging the full power of Colorstream and PreDrupa together.
We're going to have a look at some of the applications from both the Colorstream and PreDrupa a little bit later. One of the things I can't help think about, and that is because I always ask this question when it comes to inkjet machines, is now the time for going from offset to digital? What is your short answer on that one?
Oh, short answer. It absolutely is the time. We see more titles, shorter run length, and that makes it absolutely necessary in order to be competitive to switch to digital inkjet printing.
The reason I'm asking is because, I mean, when you have to change, let's say, production from, let's say, a cut sheet offset machine to a continuous feed inkjet machine, as you say, it requires a new business model, requires new types of, maybe even how you think customer relations, right? And I was just thinking that because when I look at the samples, I can't see in the quality perspective, I can't see why you should not consider this, right? But you say it's, of course, a business model. When you look at the market today, I guess that you're right, that more and more is getting short run, more and more is also with variable data and all these kind of things. Do you think that it is maybe more the transactional type of printers that have worked with this kind of technology that moves up in the value chain? Or is it also offset printing companies going this way?
We see both. Of course, the people who are used to digital printing and especially to web-fed inkjet printing, they do that change much faster. But the others feel the pressure that they need to do something in order to stay competitive, or we have customers that want to stay ahead of the wave with our technologies, and they make that perfectly well. The good thing is, a lot of people see that they might switch from a sheet-fed workflow to a roll-fed workflow. But giving the interaction with finishing equipment, you put a wide roll in, but in the end you get a B2 sheet out. And so you can still use your previous workflow.
Or in this example, you actually get a finished book plug out. Right?
In this example, you get a finished book plug out, but this is really specifically something for book printers. We see in the commercial space, there it is more important to get a sheet out. Okay. But this line here has a large book plug production.
Yeah. But I was thinking when I see a machine like this, I was thinking because, I mean, one thing is that we have all the technology before and after it. Does that also mean that when you look into continuous feed inkjet today, you maybe build the machines whether for the application, so you could have like a inline stitching, or you could have inline cut sheet, or you could have inline perfect binding. So you basically tailor the machine, or is there still let's say a higher need for nearline solutions, or where do you see it when you talk to customers?
I still think the nearline is the preferred model by a lot of customers, but this is also because we see so many different new applications that are merging to inkjet printing. So if you don't specifically do books, and when I look at our heritage transactional customers, they print nowadays everything. You can't call them transactional customers because they do books, they do notebooks, they do flyers, brochures, so basically everything, and a bit of letters. And so what they do nowadays is work roll to roll and have a lot of near-line finishing possibilities at hand in order to be absolutely fast to market, to sell their services and make most use of the productivity of that press.
These changes, I mean, you worked for Canon some years. Has the speed of adaptation to all these things, has that surprised you? Or?
Yeah, absolutely. Especially when I thought of our transactional customers, I was surprised how fast they were. So when we spoke to them about the business models, about possibilities to compensate a shrinking volume, a lot of them have transactional nowadays. It's less than 50%, sometimes only still two-digit, but not more. And it's amazing how fast they manage that and how competitive they are, because they know how to use these presses. And they really took all the knowledge that they have of variable data printing, put it together and made a completely new customer proposition for their customers out of it.
So Cindy, let's take a little perspective of what we see here. The machine I heard that you're taking it to Drupa, right?
You're absolutely right. We are taking our Colorstream 8200 to Drupa with us.
Fantastic. And what we see here is that you have what would you call the
media changer from Hunkeler. Yeah. Then we go into the centerpiece, the Colorstream 8200. Yeah. Then we have a web inspection system, checking on book completeness. Then we have a web buffer. Then we go into the Hunkeler Blau folder, and the book sorting module rounds up the complete line then.
And what you say here is a blank paper in and finished book blocks out.
Absolutely right.
It's almost unbelievable, right?
It's amazing on how much you can do nowadays, really.
And 60 meters long.
60 meters long. And we've calculated it when you take a standard trade book, 135 wide and 210 centimeters long, 250 pages, you do 850 per hour.
850 per hour?
Yeah.
Simply amazing. So, last, I have to ask you, because I guess that you will be at Drupa all 11 days, right?
We will be there all day.
So, what is the expectations for Drupa?
Well, I hope we find a lot of people interested into that, and also a lot of people, digging deeper into the topic of doing their book production on digital devices, because their exactly experiences what I said before. More titles, shorter run length. They see that publishers don't want to keep large stocks, which you then have to waste maybe if the calculations were wrong up front. So how can you best structure your business model in order to supply the needs, but also distributed printing networks? So everything we see nowadays being in their early steps, it will take up in speed, I'm sure.
And still, imagine that 8 years ago, how different the world was, right?
Right. Then inkjet was just good enough. And today, I think we're on a very good way to be leading the market with the inkjet technologies that you see nowadays, especially as quality is no longer a topic to talk about.
Fantastic. Thank you.
Thank you, Morten.